guys, Aria Coyote Feather here, reporting for duty on Phantom again. I thought today would be fun to do like a storytelling time. I only really have two good juicy stories to share with you right now. Yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay, so the first story starts about 3 years ago when I joined Star Stable for the first time. It was back when I had started to get enough currency to buy new outfits. And you could clearly tell that was like a new player because I sucked at the races. I still do actually, so don't mind me. I sucked at the races. I crashed into things, and my outfits were terrible. I'll just tell you that right now. Like they were disgustingly crusty. But I was so proud of myself. I finally had enough currency saved up to get both new tack and a new outfit for myself. And I decided, you know what? What the heck? Let's just go all pink. Because, like, I always hate it when my horse curves like that. I don't know why it does that right there. So I went ahead and bought everything in pink. Head to toes, pink. My horse, head to hooves, pink. And at the time, I was like so proud of myself. It like, look at me, you guys. I finally look so fancy and cutesy. But in reality, I was then looking at everyone else and their really cool or sophisticated looking outfits. And I realized, yeah, this is still not it. But I was like, you know what? At least I have a new outfit besides my starter gear. So I was happy. Anyways, I had unlocked Steve's farm. And I decided to go there to kind of hang out, you know. And I was sporting everything in pink, and believe me, it actually looked terrible together, but I did not care. I was new, you know? And I was so proud of myself for my purchases. And I just remember there was this club hanging out. I, for the life of me, cannot remember the name of the club, but that's okay because I don't want to out anyone here or share names, even if I had remembered the name. All I remember is I was just hanging out, kind of chit-chatting in Global a little bit, and a girl decided to tell me in Say Chat, "Ew, you dog, what are you wearing?" I kid you not, she called me a dog, and I was like, "I'm sorry, are you talking to me?" And she's like, "Yes. Who else would I be talking to? Look at the way you're dressed, that's ugly. Why do you think that even looks any good?" And I was like, well, I had just bought all this stuff, and like, I feel like it looks good because it matches, so I really don't care. And she just kept insulting me and kept saying, oh my gosh, she's such a dog if she thinks that this looks good at all. Like, who would wear this? It's disgusting. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Hold the phone. I do not know you from Adam, or should I say Eve? I don't know. And I don't care what you think of my opinion. I just wasted some star coins on this outfit, and you know what? I'm just gonna rock it because it's all I have besides starter gear. So who are you to tell me what I can or can't wear, right? All that blah blah blah. So I legit told her, I don't care what you think. I'm going to wear what I want. I'm here to enjoy the game, and I don't care if you like the way I dress or not. You don't have to look at me if you don't like the way I look. And she goes, well, it's kind of hard not to look at you because you are capturing everyone's attention with how hideous you look. And I'm like, okay, this girl's so exaggerative, but whatever. And she then had the nerve to say, I cannot believe you had the audacity. And I remember she spelled it wrong. It was actually pretty funny. But I didn't comment on that because things were really just rolling at this point between the two of us. And she said, you have the audacity to come to my server looking like that. And I kid you not, she emphasized the word my, all caps, my server. And I just literally looked at her and said, I'm sorry, who made you queen of this server? It's your server and you get to dictate what people wear? Maybe paraphrasing here a little, but I mean, it was 3 years ago, so cut me some slack. And she was like, yes, and I'm not going to have someone who looks like you on it. And I'm like, well, you can't make me leave. And then by this point, there were all these girls in her club that were starting to chime in, and they too were commenting on how ugly my outfit was and how I'm an embarrassment to be seen like that. Yada, yada, yada. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. And then some nice girl decided to say chat, who was just off to the side, watching this entire exchange of me bashing back and forth with the girl literally saying, I don't care what you think, and her saying, well, you should care because it's my server. She steps in and says, It's okay. She's just here to have fun. Why do you care what she's dressed like anyways? If you don't like the way she looks, go somewhere else. There's a big map for you to explore. Why do you need to stand right next to her and insult her? And I'm like, yes, thank you. And so then this girl was just like, whatever, dog. I guess you have a good time being a loser. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I will. Thank you. You have a nice day too, being mean. I mean, I admit it. I got a little nasty at this point, which I shouldn't have, and I told her, I'm glad you actually have friends because the way that you treated me shows that you don't deserve any. And that was very rude of me. Like, I was literally stooping down to her level. I was mad, okay? I was raging. And so I was just gonna take it out on her and lash out at her. I did not care. How dare she insult me and then basically insinuate that she didn't want me in the server with her because I dressed so poorly. Well, come on. I'm like Starcoin broke at that point. I'm a beginner. I just became a star rider. Who does she think she is? And I was a low level at that point. I didn't have access to as much gear as I do now, being a higher level. I had gear to the more sucky gear, the gear that isn't as cool looking or have as good stats, and there was nothing I could do about it. I just wanted to be in a different outfit, okay? Like, who cares? Um, Needless to say, that was literally the most ridiculous drama I had back then, and of course that did spur me leaving Chocolate Cupcake for a while, because that's where I first spawned in. This was my first server. This was my home server, was Chocolate Cupcake. And back then, it was when it was much busier. It was, like, global was crazy, okay? And on a Saturday weekend, the lag was terrible, because we were pretty busy. Were we the busiest server? Heck no. But it was a decent-sized community, to say the least. Now it's dead. And then after that, I was like, people here are so toxic. I'm done. I'm going to go to Nightstar instead because I've heard it's busy. And so I did. That was when I first moved to Nightstar. And I was there for a while. But then I decided to move back because one of my in real life friends was here on Chocolate Cake and they did not want to move. So I was like, okay, fine. And I'll probably never meet that rude girl again, or at the very least, maybe she'll hop servers, which would be fantastic. Or I could just ignore her. Like, at that point, I didn't have anyone on my ignore list. I didn't like doing that to people, but I was tempted to if I ever had a run-in with her again. So that was the first crusty story. And juicy. Like, that was... I literally got called a dog. Anyways, by a person who claimed ownership of the Chocolate Cupcake server, so to speak. And then the second story. So, it was my first friend, like, this was before, like, I discovered my in real life friend played, and I was able to friend her on here. I made a friend, again, don't remember her name, and even then I wouldn't out her. And we roleplayed a lot. That was back when, like, for me, roleplay was the thing to do, and I was always doing roleplays, and we did them a lot together, and sometimes we'd even host some roleplays. We mainly did, like, Wild to Tame, or just, like, Rider roleplay, things like that. And she seemed really nice and sweet, and we just had so much fun together. But things started to take a turn for the worse with this girl. It was honestly baffled my brain. I began to catch her in some lies, and she would deny them, but it would happen over and over again. And it's like, are you not seeing a pattern forming here, girl? You are literally lying to me, and everyone else is saying you're lying. Well, let's just, like, get into it so you can see what I mean. So, at the one point, we were doing a role play, and then there was, like, a girl nearby on her horse, whatever, doing her thing. I don't even know. And my friend, she stopped the role play, and she, like, all of a sudden went over to talk to this girl, I guess. I don't know, because she was standing close to her. But I didn't see what they were chatting about, because I was in friend chat, and I mainly stayed in friend chat, at that point during role plays. And so then my friend immediately comes over to me, and she says, can you please defend me? She's being so mean to me, and she said some mean things, and now she's yelling. And I'm like, really? Okay, fine. Loyalty to friends and all that. Let's go. So I went up to the girl, and I told her, hey, my friend says you were mean to her. Why would you be so mean to her? Like, that's not nice. You need to either be nice, or if you don't have anything nice to say, just shut up, basically. I didn't say shut up. But I may as well have. And the girl was so confused, and she just immediately was like, "Excuse me? I was not rude to her. I don't know what you're talking about. We just kind of had a conversation." And I'm like, "Okay, well, my friend says that you were being rude to her, so just stop." And then my friend goes, "Okay, thank you for that. Let's just leave to another area." So we did. Like, whatever. And I left a little baffled, but my friend said that she was being bullied basically, and I stood up for her like a good friend would. And I thought that was the end of that. Anyways, cue a day later or so, and again, we were hanging out. And I think at that point we were just kind of chit-chatting and also like just um jumping in on global chat and talking in there too with people, and it was fine. Everything was dandy. But then again, she comes to me. I didn't even see what girl it was at first she was talking to. I didn't know she was talking to someone else, and who cares? Her freedom. She wants to talk to someone, she could talk to someone. And she says to me again, "Aria, this girl is being really rude. Like, she's yelling at me and she's saying awful things. Can you please talk to her and tell her she needs to leave me alone?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, not this again, but okay, loyalty to friends, let's go." And I'm like, "Hey, you're being rude to my friend. It needs to stop." And the girl goes, "I didn't even talk to her." And I'm like, "She says you did and that you were rude." And she goes, "No, I didn't even speak a word to her. I don't know who she is." And I don't oftentimes go up to people just randomly talking to them if I've never spoken to them and don't know them. And I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe there's just some misunderstanding. Maybe she meant someone else." And I asked my friend. She said, "No, that's the girl that you're talking to. She was rude." And I was like, "Okay, well, she says she was not rude." And she's like, "Well, she's lying. She was rude." Okay, fine, whatever. This probably happened like 5 more times until finally at the one point I confronted my friend and said, "Hey, you are lying." And these girls, like, so many times this has happened. What is going on? Why are you telling me that all these girls are being rude to you? And every single one of them denies it. And some of them said they didn't even talk to you. And she goes, "Now you're going to be mean to me too? Wow, some friend. I thought that we were best friends." And yes, they are being rude to me. And I said, "Well, next time it happens, I need proof. Because, like, this isn't adding up." She's like, "Okay, fine. Yeah, sure, whatever." And we just did our thing. We role played, all that, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how much time passed. And again, she's like, "Look in global chat. This girl is being rude to me." And I'm like, "What? Okay." And we're like at Steve's hangout spot as usual. And I look in global chat, and she told me the name of the girl that was being rude. And I look back at their conversation, and it was because the girl didn't respond right away to her in global that she accused her of being rude. "Why are you ignoring me?" And the girl had denied it and said, "I'm sorry, I was talking to a friend in another chat channel and I didn't respond to you right away. I'm sorry about that." And she was like, "Well, that's just rude. You're being mean to me. Don't ignore me." And on and on and on they went back and forth. And I finally went to my friend and I'm like, "Look, I'm not confronting her because what she did was not rude. She was talking to someone else before she talked to you." And she's like, "Well, that's rude. You don't ignore someone." And I told her she was not ignoring you. She was talking to a friend in Say Chat. She said that. And my friend was like, "Okay, well, I just took it as being rude." And then she argued with me, and that is also rude. I'm like, it takes two to argue, okay? Like, she said what was going on. She was talking to an actual friend. You say that she's not on your friend list. You guys are chit-chatting in global, and she ignores you for a short amount of time and then still gets back to you, and you accuse her of being rude because she doesn't respond right away. At this rate, I realized that this girl was probably a little immature. I mean, not to say like I was a little immature at that point too. I mean, I've grown up a little bit, but to say the least, this girl acted at least maybe 10, if that. I don't even know. I wouldn't ask her age, obviously, but she definitely started to give off little kid vibes, that she would try to make drama like that for no reason and accuse people of being rude to her when they never were. And with the pattern developing that all these people denied being rude to her, clearly she was in the wrong. And I saw for myself firsthand that no, that one girl wasn't being rude. She just didn't respond right away, and it happens. I mean, there's a lot that goes on in chat channels, and sometimes you switch cross and forth between them, between responding, and that is okay. I mean, when you text friends, do you immediately answer everyone right away off the bat, even if you're in the middle of an emergency? Of course not. So I don't know. Needless to say, after that, our friendship kind of fell apart. I wouldn't, I don't say this to sound like I'm deflecting off of myself, but I would not say, um, that I 100% was free of blame here that our friendship fell apart, but I just began to hang out with her less and less. And, I couldn't help it. I didn't like that she lied to me like that and that she tried to throw other people under the bus like that. I just couldn't understand it. It was rude of her. So I I ended up unfriending her and I was like, I don't need this kind of drama. I'm here to play a game. I'm here to have fun with friends. I'm not here for drama and people to spread rumors and lies about someone else. And I'm not gonna friend you and support you in that. I'm just not. Um, so I did unfriend her. Um, and I don't know what became of her, if she still is around, or if she quit playing, or moved servers, or even completely forgot about me. Um, all I can say is that right there made me a little more wary of accepting friend requests from people. Because I just didn't want to go through that kind of thing again. Obviously, not every situation with every friend here would be the same, obviously. But that was just something that I was not going to do. Um, I guess one more quick juicy story to finish up. Um, I had started to get into joining clubs and learning dressage, and it was a lot of fun. And I remember I joined a girls' club, and I even worked hard to buy the Percheron, that was the club horse, and it worked so hard and fast to get the club outfit and everything. And I was ready to begin. Like, I was so ready. And then I happened to one day go to check and see if any more people had been added and realized that the club had been disbanded. And I confronted her and said, hey, what happened? Like, we didn't even have our first group meet yet. And she was like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. We decided to disband because we wanted to name the club something else. Do you want to join that one too? And I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'm over this. I spent all these star coins on the club outfit and to buy a Percheron and spent all this time max leveling my horse, just like you said, for you to disband it. So I took a break from clubs for a while and then I met another friend. Again, I'll leave her name unsaid. And we had a fantastic time together. We talked every day we were on, and she was on all the time, almost all day. Sometimes I would log on mobile just to see if she was on, and bam, she was on. Like, I don't know what this girl did outside of being on, but she was online all the time, and it was crazy. And I was like, okay, I guess this girl has nothing better to do with her life than to just play this game, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it was like, what do you do with your life other than play on Star Stable 24/7? Regardless, I was in her club, I want to say, for about a half a year before she decided she didn't like the name of the outfit and decided to disband it and create a new one. And she invited me to it. Okay, sure. Immediately loyal, totally, and joined. And again, everything was great. It was supposed to be a dressage club, but we ended up spending more time talking and just hanging out than dressage. Like, I maybe had one dressage lesson total with this girl. And then she decided, yet again, that sometime later, she didn't like the name of her club. She didn't like her club outfit. She wanted to start fresh. She disbanded it and then invited me to a third club that she created. And at this rate, I was done. I'm like, look, I'm not going to keep jumping into new clubs, buying whatever I need to have the correct horse and tax set and max leveled and everything, just for you to disband it on me again and change it all up on me again. I'm done. And I was polite when I told her that. I was just like, look, hey, this is just a waste of my time to keep joining it for you to disband it this much later. I like you. We're still going to be friends. We can still hang out and everything, but I'm not going to join your club. I'm just going to be club free for a while. And so that's what I did. And then I decided to create my own club that I would add for and say a club that will never disband on you. The only way you're leaving is if you break the rules too many times or if you leave yourself. Like, I'm not going to kick you out. I will be a club that's here that you can rely on. Sadly, no one ever joined the club, and so I just ended up disbanding it. Like, whatever, this is pointless. No matter how many times I would add, people would join to leave immediately. And it was really sad. And I still had very little experience in dressage at this point, so it's not like I could offer them much anyways. And at the time, I didn't know about the SSO dressage dictionary, so I relied on lessons in game to up my learning experience level on dressage here. Um, so that was that. Finally, I ended up joining. There was a girl named Delka Armsnake. Oh yeah, you guys know who it is. Club owner of Sword Protectors. But this girl named Delka Armsnake, um she was hosting a dressage practice over at Steve's Arena. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'll join. Totally. I want to learn. And let me just say, it went very well. And I learned some new moves and then learned that she had created a club called the Sword Protectors and that she was using the Dutch Warmblood as the club horse, which is, of course, my favorite horse in game. And I was like, she ended up offering and said, do you want to join? And I was like, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, yes, I would love to join your club. And I told her during the interview process, my only stipulation is, are you a club that is going to disband soon after you're formed? Because I've had that way too many times. She told me, no, absolutely not. I would not do that to you guys. It will not disband. Sword Protectors is here to stay unless there's something terrible that comes up in the foreseeable future. But other than that, no. Sword Protectors is here for you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. So I ended up joining, and I think there was 2 or 3 other girls. I know Stella Masterwood was one of them. I'm going to give you a shout out because you're another club leader. Hope you don't mind. And there was, I think, 1 or 2 other girls besides Stella. We all ended up joining Sword Protectors. 2 of them immediately off the bat were very inactive, but Dalka hadn't stressed being active overly much. She didn't want to be too strict and drive people away because of that. Which was great because Dalka and I talking, we both have crazy schedules that we're still kind of working around each other sometimes, and sometimes one or the other is logged on and we're not always both here, but that's okay. Um, we still are able to chat and everything, and we still meet up whenever we can, do lessons when we can, host lessons when we can. She normally hosts and has me lead the line. Um, and so that's a lot of fun, especially when my brain does a brain fart thing and I forget what the heck I'm doing and everyone does it wrong because of me. That's great. She's a fantastic teacher and I've learned so much under her training. And yeah, here we are, like, I think a full year later at least, and Sword Protectors is still around and I'm still part of it. Yeah, that's just kind of some short, juicy, fun stories of me, of my time here on Star Stable and how I came into the Sword Protectors as well. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you at the next one. Bye!